Most pianists practice passages like this one by repeating them hundreds of times and wondering why arpeggios are so hard to play. But arpeggios are not the problem. Each arpeggio has a secret, and once you find out what that secret is, you can solve it so much quicker. Today, we are doing exactly that, uncovering arpeggio secrets and making them instantly easier to play. The first thing we need to do is understand the structure and how the arpeggio is built. In this case, these are not just 8 fast, random separate notes. Thinking like that will make everything so much more difficult. And just to make it very clear for you, you can see that we have groups of 8 notes. If you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why I said these are not just 8 separate random notes. Now, every passage, in this case, arpeggiated passage, has an underlying structure. Let's look at it and make it very clear. If you look at the score, you will see that you have first a note A, and then the thumb goes under, and what you have is 7 notes played within an octave range. So we have the A, we go under, and then we have these notes are within an octave. If you look later in the piece, we have something similar in the left hand, but it's slightly different. You don't start with a single note, but you start with several notes played within an octave again. That's our octave from E to E. Then we cross over with our second finger, we play a single note G, and we go back to notes that are grouped within an octave. So in practice, we have 2 separate anchors. We have that first note as our first anchor, and then we have an octave. For the left hand, we have the same, just in reverse. We have an octave, our first anchor, and then a single note as our second anchor. This will make things for you so much easier to remember. First of all, you will remember the piece much easier, but also the clearer you are, the clearer everything is, the more confident you're going to be playing the piece. So this is going to be our starting point. Now the next thing we have to figure out, the next question we have to ask ourselves is, what makes this passage technically so challenging? What makes it difficult to play? And as a lot of people might think when they get confronted with passages like this one, the difficulty is not necessarily always speed or awkward fingering or even a lot of notes. The more I play, the more I see and discover that the challenge has to do much more with the transitioning between the 2 anchors, between this one and this one, and here between this and this one. So instead of getting stuck at practicing 8 separate notes over and over and over again, we need to do something different. Let's get going with our first exercise for today, but before we start, if you haven't done it yet, I think you'd really enjoy checking out our course, The Mistake-Proof Pianist. I know how overwhelming piano practice and playing can be, and that's why we've put years of experience into a few clear and very practical strategies that will help you feel in control of your piano practice and progress. Check it out, and I'm sure you will enjoy it and benefit from it. Let's continue now with our first exercise. I think the first and most important thing you need to do in a case like this one is learn and study the structure and the 2 anchors. Or this one. The goal is to get so familiar with the 2 anchors that whenever you point to a bar, let's say second system, this bar, we point to it, you immediately know that the 2 anchors are this. Or we look at another bar, you know immediately the 2 anchors. Let's look at the left hand. The first one was clear. Let's look at another one. For example, at the end of the page, you have. You need to be incredibly familiar without no doubts. Do that very comfortably, very calmly. No speed, no pressure. Just take your time and study them really easily in the beginning. It will take some time. Trust me that once you are familiar with these anchors, that alone, this exercise alone will remove so much of your hesitation and doubts. Now, of course, we're going to go to something fun and fast, don't worry. Now, can we get those combinations in a fast tempo and with a metronome? For example, my tempo would be 100, so it will sound something like this. Or for the left hand, What you're doing right now is you're preparing the hand for playing the passage fast later on. You really need to have fast reactions between the two anchors, otherwise you won't be able to play the passage fast. Make sure that you get good at it with both hands, of course. And now, let's do one more exercise that's going to get you one step closer to the final result. In this case, that would mean that we want to involve more notes, because till now, we've been playing only the two anchors. Now, I hope that you are not impatient in skipping the first exercise and moving directly to this one, because knowing the anchors will be crucial for this next exercise, because we are still going to shift constantly between the two anchors. That's inevitable. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to add the remaining notes, but instead of adding them in a normal way, played like this, what we're going to do is we're going to play the first anchor, then we're going to shift to the second anchor and grab and play all the remaining notes together simultaneously. So instead of, we're going to do, for the left hand that would look like this. Instead of, we're going to do the first several notes together, and then we'll play the second anchor by itself, like this. Now, while this alone is useful, we want to do this fast. We want to do it ideally with a metronome to see, can we react and play in a fast tempo, because that's anyway our final result, final goal. So what that would sound like with a metronome for me is like this. Let's do another one. Left hand. Do that as freely and with as many repetitions as you want, because the goal is that you get super confident. Once you feel confident and comfortable, move on to the next group. And that's it. Just don't allow yourself to repeat passages endlessly without knowing why. Remember that for every problem you encounter, there is an underlying cause and a solution. Look for that solution, make up an exercise that's going to target that problem, and then repeat as many times as it takes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm happy that you were here, and we'll see you next week again.